Hi there, my name is Amanda Hill, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a Canva template that you can sell. So if you've never used Canva before, don't worry, it's relatively simple. Here I'm going to talk you through each little element that will help you to create your Canva template. You can just go when you log straight in and tell it what you want to create. And there's lots and lots of templates on there that you can use to create your own. But if you start from scratch, then you can control every little part of it. You can move things about, you can do what you want. If you've even used a template to begin with, then you can amend that to whatever you want it to do. So, if you search straight away of what you want to do, so it could be an ebook, it could be a presentation. So pick what it is that you're starting with, and I'll show you what you can do with it afterwards. So let's look at the first element, and I have got a video as well as this little description on here. So we're going to look at moving things about. So firstly, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. This lovely little slider down here, you can just make things a little bit bigger so you can see what you're doing. It's relatively simple to move things. However, you need to know if they're grouped or not. So if they are, then you will just move the entire group rather than a section. So let's just take a peek at this. And can you see I've just highlighted it? I'm using a mouse. And just holding down my left mouse, I can pick it up and move it. Now this entire section is all one group, which I can undo just to move things about. Now, if you've moved something accidentally, there's a very good shortcut that you can use, which is Ctrl and Z, and it puts things back to where they were. To find Ungroup, click on the element that is grouped, and the three dots at the top will give you more. Just click Ungroup. And there you have things, so you can just move them about slightly and make them fit to how and where you want them to be. So it may be this little section here is not quite where you want it. Can you see that there's a line down the middle that's showing you the centre? There's also usually one across the centre as well, so you can get exactly in the middle. Often in an element you have layers. So this one here is clearly at the top, but if I wanted to move it backwards just by clicking on position and telling it where I want to be, it will move it backwards, forwards. It's showing you it's actually at the front by the fact that forwards is not available for you. You can also align the page in varying different ways. So let's now look at how to add a box. So all of these are created using a box. And I've just clicked back down here where all my pages are for this particular design. And I'm going to come into here and show you how to add a box. So this is put into a box, but if I deleted it, I would want to replace it. So there's two ways from where I am right now that I can do this. I can go to Elements, and I can pick a square, and then I can add that square and change the colours and the sizes for it. Now it's best to pick a rectangle because the other one is a rectangle. However, there's a second way because the element I want is already on my screen. So I can click that element, and I can click the Control key and D, which will repeat it for me, or I can click on the element and just do the normal copy and paste. So whichever you're most comfortable with, then that's the way to do it. So if I just do Control and D, and then I move it to where I want it to be. Now, of course, this is far too big. Can you see on the edges, I can make it smaller. So I can just lift that up to where I want it to be. Now, if I'm being pernickety, that gap there and that gap there are quite different. So if I wanted to just pull it down a little bit to match, then I need to move it backwards because right now my text is underneath. So position and then backward. So now you can see that my text is now back at the front. And you can check that it's at the front just by clicking on position. So you can go from a blank page, find all the elements that you want to add, and then you can just add them. Now you can add text too in varying different ways. You can just find a space of where you want to add text. So let's say we're going to add some up here. And you click to text over on the left and you tell it what you want. It will give you quite a few different choices and you can have fun with some of the font combinations. I'm just going to go for one of the simple ones. I'm going to add a bit of body text. As you can see, it's now given me a little box which I can pick up and move wherever I want. And then I can change it using this editor across the top. Now I already have the text that I need in here, but just by double clicking into it, I can type exactly what I need. So we've looked at how to add the text when we did this section here of adding a box. Now let's make it easy for ourselves adding a picture. There are times when you wouldn't do it this way, but a picture frame is very useful. And it means that your entire design can be uniform. So what you actually do is you tell it what size picture you're going to add. And these are the frames. And then every time you pick up a picture to add it in, it will just fill that frame with the picture that you're using. So let me show you what I mean. So here is my blank. And I'm going to go to Elements. And what I actually want now is to search for my frames. Now if you just scroll down, there's a little bar here that allows you to do that. Then you'll come across all sorts of funky things. So here are my frames. And I can pick all to see which one I want. So if I find a frame that I want to add in here, so for example this one, if I just click on it, then it will add itself to the design, probably not where I want it to be, but there you go. And I can just use the corners to make it the size that I want it to be. And now I can pick up the picture and it will make it exactly fit into the text frame. So it now fits the box exactly, and I can just repeat that and make it exactly the same size for everything that I'm doing. It should just snap straight in. If it doesn't, there's a slight error somewhere. Now we've already looked at this section of how to copy elements. You literally click on it, Ctrl and D, or copy and paste. If you've grouped the elements, it'll copy all of it, and then you can ungroup it and do what you want with it. But there's other things that you can do as well. You can actually copy entire pages, and there's two ways. From this view, you can actually click the three dots above, and you can duplicate the page, which means that when you come to do the next one, all you're doing is changing what's in the elements. And if you realise that you didn't need it, you can click the three dots again and you can delete the page. So once you've created your template and got it how you want it to be for everything, you now have the opportunity to go and change it all and just copy it. Now, one thing that you might want to do is add what looks like a watermark background. Sometimes it just makes it look more professional, especially if it's online. So let's just have a look at the one on here, which is just hiding behind here. Now I would probably group all of your elements first so that when you are doing something in the background, you're not losing everything that you've done. So I just grouped mine together and I just moved it slightly to the right, just so that I can concentrate on here. So there are two things here. Firstly, there's a box over the top of the picture. And where we picked a box earlier, you literally pick the box and add it across the entire screen that you want for the slide. And you pick your colour, which in this case is white. And then this little checkerboard here changes the transparency. So you can see more of the picture or less of the picture. And for the picture behind, you literally go to your uploads or to your media or to search for one, and you find it and add it in. And then all you do is put this over the top and then get ready to start creating. So it's relatively simple to achieve that watermark effect. Now, this doesn't look like it's lined up properly. So let's just move everything about again. Line it up to where you want it to be. Line the overlay to where you want that to be. And then just put back the elements. Probably much easier to do it before you add things. So if you do want that effect in the background, create that first. You probably spotted that I use the zoom in and zoom out quite a lot. It means I can actually get really down to where I need to be to do things. My eyesight isn't brilliant, yours may be much better. I've already mentioned duplicating pages, and even when you've got it in this view, you can actually just click duplicate or delete, or you can just put in a blank page. When you get to the point of wanting to rearrange what you've done, if you just go across to the grid view, then all your pages are in front of you, so you can literally pick them up and put them exactly where you want them to be. So let's just have a little move about. I'm using my left mouse to hold it, and then just literally dragging and dropping. All very simple. And finally, what I did on here was I created a screenshot of all of the pages. So what I actually did was I just took it in this view and I just did a screenshot of each section, and then I saved each one and brought them into here and just lined them up. So that gave me a screenshot of all the pages. Now when you come to share things, it depends on what link you give to what it becomes. And if you come to share, which is just to the top right of the screen, what you'll actually get is a pull-down menu. And the template link is here. If you're not seeing it, go to the bottom where it says more, and it will give you the template link. So by sharing this link, whoever you give it to can have exactly the same template of everything that you've got there. And when they change it, it doesn't change on your original. So they can download it for themselves and go and create their own. You can also just give them the download. Now, this one would need to be in a PDF, and I would suggest giving people the PDF print version because they might want to print it. Also, in a PDF, anything that is embedded, they can go out to. You might also want to give the video of the whole thing as well. There's lots of different things that you can do with Canva, from creating a favicon, which is the little picture at the top of a website, to business cards, to a website. In fact, I don't think I found anything I can't create in Canva. Once you understand that most things are in elements, that you can upload anything that you want to play with, you can download and then re-upload your logos, and you can do heaps more, then it's going to become your go-to product for creating things. So whatever you choose to do with Canva, I hope you have fun playing with it. Be aware, it can suddenly eat your entire day.